And we are live, called Jamie Painting and Drywall.
What? What's up, everyone?
We're out in Ottawa doing a big site, eh?
Yeah. Nice big fat site in Stittsville, Ontario, West End, Ottawa.
Stittsville, which is a nice place.
Yeah, it is.
I really like it there.
Yeah, beautiful place. Lots of big shacks, and that's where usually we get called from Stittsville. We know it's usually a full house every time.
And I mean, I get it. I couldn't imagine them living in that house with that fucking popcorn.
Oh,
I think it's such a beautiful space.
especially with all the like the coffered like bulkheads and stuff around the ceiling
Yes. And the
and
the built-ins.
the built-ins too.
The
Yeah.
built-ins is one of the biggest things. Like I've shown a few people, and that's my favorite part as a carpenter,
Yeah.
where it's like you build an alcove. So you're going to have ducting running everywhere, right? And you've got a big bulkhead.
Yeah.
You make another bulkhead and like vertical, and then you do some beautiful built-ins. Like a guy I used to work for, we moved him into his new house. We didn't move him there. We did a bunch of stuff before he moved in, and his office was just this like beautiful built-in bookshelf organizer.
Yeah.
I think it's functional. I don't think anybody does it anymore.
That's cool.
It's like having art at your house,
Oh yeah.
right? Like how much was that to have a carpenter make it? And they're like, nah, we're gonna put some fucking shelving here.
Did you see the place we're doing? Did I show you the safe? The
Oh, safe.
Yeah, did I
Yeah.
show you that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they got the mirror and the when you walk in off the garage and they got that mirror there. I was like, oh, I wonder if the mirror comes off because we're painting the walls too. And I
We'll
kind of
have to
left
make sure not to say where this place is.
that's a tough that'd be a tough place to find.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's pretty cool. It was I never seen that before. I was like, oh, I guess the mirror's not coming off. There's a big safe behind it.
Yeah, and I mean, finding that would have been dope. You're like, there's this fucking safe here.
It kind of startled me when I lifted the mirror. I'm like, well, this mirror's on hinges or something. And I kind of lifted up and
Yeah,
there it was.
you're
Yeah,
waiting for like a Indiana Jones spike to come out of some silly thing.
pretty much, pretty much.
Um, what a silly place for it.
Yeah, it's
Like, you know what I
smart.
mean? It's a weird place for it, but
Who would think, right? Because probably the keychains is right beside that for your keys, and then
yeah, maybe
have a look in the mirror on the way out to work, and then get into your car, and then yeah, the safe is full of God knows what.
it's just fake.
Yeah,
Hey, if you went to take the safe off the wall, it would have
yeah,
got the mirror.
yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah, so to catch everybody up, we had a super long day, couple later days. I like your hours.
Yeah,
Um,
banker's hours, not
they're dope.
thanks.
Well, they start at banker's hours.
They start at banker's
Yeah,
hours.
they don't stop at banker's hours.
That's right.
And that's important. I would much rather get a good night's sleep, go to work, kick ass until I'm exhausted and come home
Yeah,
instead of being like, I'm gonna go to work exhausted to kick ass to be more exhausted. It doesn't make sense.
yeah. It's all the years living in cities and trying to
Mhm.
beat the traffic. Because
Yep.
I live in the far east end of Ottawa, and they always say if you live in the East End, most of your work's in the West End, and then if you move to the West End, most of your work's in the East End. So it's just a lot of that. Usually, if you leave at like 8, it's going to take you an extra half an hour or even more to get to site. So I've always site around.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there we go, and we're back.
And we're back. I'm playing
Yeah.
around to turn the mic up a bit. I muted you.
Was I muted the whole time?
No, no, no,
Oh
no.
Jesus, I was gonna say, um, yeah. So just those hours, and usually I work like 10 to 6 or something,
Yeah,
depending what the kids got going
reasonable.
on. But yeah, it's not bad. And if I got enough energy in me, I just keep pounding out work till I can't take no more, and way home I go.
I'm a big fan of that. If I've got a little more oomph in the tank and I got nothing going on, there's no distractions and whatever, it's like I could probably hit the beats or whatever.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what I'll do screws, maybe that's what I'll whatever.
yeah,
You get that little bit closer ahead.
yeah. And it's easy to lose track of time because you get like say 6:30, and you're like, oh shit, I'm just gonna do this, and
Yeah.
you look down at your clock and it's like 8:49. You're like, holy Christ! It's like you thought you were just doing it for half an hour, but it's because either you're enjoying it or you're getting progress and you want to keep going as far as you can, and then next thing you know, you're sleeping in the next day an extra hour because you got home and you try to wind, always takes me usually a good 3 hours to wind down. So if I'm working till 9, get home at like 10, I'm lucky to be sleeping by 1
Yeah.
around that by the time I wind down.
If you pay attention when I'm doing a big site, I start at like 5 or 6 the first day.
Yeah.
And then a week into it, I'm like on the road moving at 10:30
Yeah.
because that's exactly what happens. It's like I'm gonna do 12 hours.
Yeah.
That'll be 5 o'clock. And then I'm like, it's stay till 8. And then I'm like, okay, I better sleep. And then I'll do 12 hours. And then by the end of the week, I'm there at like 11:30.
Yeah. That is me too, man. Because you kind of get more comfortable in the job as you go along too,
Well, and
more
as long as it's
relaxed.
getting done, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
it's like get your checkpoints, hit your checkpoints,
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah. Slam it out. But no, it's been a great week, man. It's been nice having my
Yeah.
first ever collaboration. You've been in many, so this is the first one for me, and hopefully for a lot more to come, man.
Yeah, man.
It's been an awesome week. The week's gone by so fast. It just felt like you rolled in and I was yelling at you there. Hey, buddy. Yeah, we did the welcoming thing, and
Yeah.
now tomorrow you're leaving. So
I know it happens so quick,
gotta
dude.
say, man, it'll be a little sad to see you go, but I mean, I can't keep you forever, man. You gotta spread the love around, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, Ottawa's so close.
Yeah,
You go to 4.5 hours or whatever.
yeah, we'll do more. Except every time you come, we're always a bit like last time it was a short. We didn't even get a chance to do any sightseeing or.
No.
But one of these times we'll go downtown, check out the parliaments, and
Yeah.
take you across to the Quebec side. Gatineau's right across the river, so there's a.
I don't think I've ever actually been to Quebec as an adult.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a pretty different place. Yeah, it's the drivers are interesting. Anyone from Quebec out there, sorry, but I was actually born in Quebec City just because my dad was in the military there. But
That's why you
I,
drive like shit. No.
yeah, but I don't consider myself a Quebecer.
No.
More of an East Coaster, but yeah, man, it's
East Coast.
what's that?
I was like, what, my family's all East Coast.
That's why we get along, man.
Yes.
That's it. It's the Irish blood. Well, you're more Scottish, are you? Yeah,
English and Scottish is what I've been told.
that explains the beer habit. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So um, not only do I have English and Scottish, but my grandfather and I think his father were bootleggers.
Oh, really?
And we found all of this out later on.
No way.
And yeah, like when we went through all his stuff, we found one of the old business cards.
Holy.
Yeah, dude. So like we've been drinking a while.
That is cool, man.
But I mean, my grandparents on both sides were born here.
Okay.
So I consider myself Canadian.
That is cool.
I
I,
think, right? Like, I don't know,
pretty much. Yeah. Same with me.
2 generations or third generation or whatever.
I was talking to one of my cousins in Cape Breton in Glace Bay, and he was telling me about the Burkes. That's my last name is Burke, and apparently in Ireland, it goes back that the old Burkes were mercenaries.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me, but I mean, who knows, right? But I was like,
I
oh,
mean,
kind of
what's a
cool.
mercenary?
Yeah. Yeah, what is a mercenary anyway? Just like a what's that, like a
Like a contractor,
contract killer?
pretty
Or
much.
pretty
Well,
well.
it depends, right? Mercenaries is like a classification. So, like, if you needed somebody to get something somewhere, or like, it's basically third party.
Okay.
That's why I call my days mercenary days. When I'm like, if
Okay.
I'm just gonna go for a tape day
Yeah.
and you're gonna pay me a day's rate for it, I'm like, done, mercenary work. Right.
Anyone listening out there that hasn't had Sean, man, he's a delight to have on site, and he is a very hard worker. I don't know if he's dog fucking at anyone else's sites, but just kidding. But he's good with me, man. He was a hard worker. It was almost hard to had to get him to come on, let's have a break, man. Come on down. And he's going hard.
Well, because I'm like, I'm gonna finish this room and then I'll stop or something. But then you kind of get into the hallway, you're like, yeah, I'll just fucking
Yeah.
you do know what I mean?
You don't want to lose the momentum.
Well, that's it. Like when I get the momentum going, especially running a box, I'll fucking box the house out and
Yeah.
then be like, I'm hungry.
But
Um,
yeah, it was a fun week, man. Like I said, it went by quick. And tomorrow, with Sean getting on the road in the afternoon or whatever, sometime, and we're ready to sand over there. So I think it's a little over 2,600 square feet or something like
I
that of
was
pop art
wondering,
we took off. It was quite a bit, a lot of high stuff and some tricky areas. Um, Pardon me. But yeah, we're double skim now fully, and it took us pretty much the first day just to get prepped. That's a big house to prep. And yeah, tomorrow we're ready to sand first thing. So we'll get the upstairs sanded, probably take an hour and a half, and I'll start priming and painting. I want Sean to see some rooms complete before he goes so he can see.
I want that pop.
Yeah, he wants to get some photos and videos of that. So it was Yeah, it's a great week. We went through, well, it's 50 pounds per bucket. So we went through about 900 pounds of mud in there. Yeah, that's all rolled on by hand and
Yeah, my delts know all about it.
Columbia Tomahawk skim blade.
Yeah, dude.
This conversation is brought to you by Columbia Tools.
Columbia Tools. Purchase them and be happier.
Yeah. And we were going to do a big joke, but we never got around to doing it. But
You want
remember,
to talk about that?
do you want to,
Yeah,
or
I think
the
so. Or do you
tack
want to
today?
actually do it?
It's tempting, but I'd probably do it after I meet him, maybe.
So I told Jamie, because we made some dope content.
Yes.
Jamie's another one of these guys that's smart and found a media guy. It sounds
Thank you,
expensive,
Hayden.
but it's not. And this is why I say another one of those guys, because Hayden's smart like that too, right?
Yeah.
And we put out some dope content. So I was like, tell Aaron at the end of the week, I loved having Sean here and it was so great. And I can't believe you're going to send me a tactical set. And, I can't believe how kind you are. And it's changed the life of my family. And, like I quit all my customers and
I was gonna do fake tears. I can actually bring out fake tears if needed.
just try and see if we can rattle Aaron's cage a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna get my kids involved, get them to do a little part too.
Thanks, Aaron.
Hey, you paid a year, Aaron. And the tactical set's worth like what, 8K?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And it's like, it's not even that he's going to do what he wants to do anyways. He's not a pushover,
Yeah.
but it's that nanosecond of like, oh no, what do I do? I tried to get him with Taylor Swift tickets one time
Yeah.
where I was like, get a hold of Aaron and he got a bunch of Taylor Swift tickets and he's got some extra ones. And and you think you're going to like really get him. And he just like in like 10 seconds, he's like burned you so hard, you got to go sit down. It's like, all right, I'll
Yeah.
try again.
That's it. We're so busy. We even how busy we were like throwing ideas, but it's hard to get to everything because
Yeah,
it just the week went by so quick and plus we were super productive, so that was
yeah.
nice to get as far as we did. And yeah, it was a great week for sure. And I'm there all next week painting the bugger too, so that'll be
I know. I'm excited to see you paint.
yeah, and you know the house, so you'll be able to
Yeah.
I'll be updating on the Insta there, like
Mhm.
my crazy updates come in. Everybody will be looking forward to 8,000 stories a day and 24 million posts.
You know what? It's nice finding other people that do stories
Yeah.
like that. That's not self-proclaimed, but that is what people have said is that's my thing on there is like the stories. I never fucking miss them. And like, I'll go, I think I went a month one time without actually posting anything.
Oh, really?
I'm on there with the stories all day, telling people what I'm doing. So people were reaching out like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I look at I'm like, "Oh, it's been like weeks." Yeah, but if you go on that calendar, that the archive,
Yeah.
there might be like two dots a month that don't have a story on it,
Is that
and
right?
some of them you'll go into and they're dots. They're not even little dashes at the top of the screen. I've gotten much better.
Yeah.
I used to like go on these rants and shit. But it's nice to see other people doing it, and it's like you're just checking in.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to listen to the check-in, don't fucking listen to it. Don't like tell
Yeah.
people not to do shit. It's cool to like see what your homies are doing, like,
Big time, man.
and not a post. Like, what are you doing? Like, fucking, it's nice.
Well, I told you even with you, like, I always hope that people have this thing with me, but I don't know if some do, but they don't see me in a story. I've only gone a few times, like 2, 3 days, not doing nothing or whatever. But um, I know with you, like, there's been times like when Brawley was down, you're pretty much off for the
Oh
week,
yeah,
right?
peace.
But I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I miss those morning notes, right? When you see it, because you become part of a person's day, it's
Yeah,
even though, like we say, this is all an imaginary world at the end of the day,
it's
until you really
real.
meet someone, but it's still fun, right? It just kind of creates something a little extra. And
100%.
but yeah, definitely and there's people, and then the hard part is too, people that drop off, like, even
Mhm.
my buddy, one of my best buddies on here from the States, like he's not on. He just said, I've had enough. Here's my cell, man. And I'm jumping off. Guy had like 7,000 followers, man, and just turned her off. See you later. But it feels like a total loss. Like it's like
Yeah,
he was like a guy that encouraged me every day, encouraged him, and then he just that it's like a light goes off, right?
Well,
In kind
I
of a weird
mean,
way.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Nate did that this summer.
Yeah.
He
I
was like,
missed him too.
yeah, but you know what? It's like this thing's supposed to be healthy,
Yeah.
and this thing is supposed to be not stressful at all. So when you get wrapped up in shit, nobody needs extra heavy,
Yeah.
right? Especially these days, and like even in the trades, like nobody needs that extra heavy.
Yeah.
And when it starts to feel like that, you need to sit down, take a deep breath,
Yeah.
anything that feels like that. Anything that's being done in excess to the point where it's affecting, you got to cut it out
Yeah.
for give yourself a certain amount of time
Yeah.
and then see how much you miss it,
Yeah.
right? Is in 2 weeks, you're not going to miss checking your phone every 10 minutes. You're not.
No, the longer, like, to be honest with you too, I mean, I've had my own struggles with Instagram. Like, I have a very addictive
Mhm.
personality. Um, Fortunately enough, I've been able to be grounded for lots of years, but I've had my ups and downs on different things and that over the years. And um, I stayed off social media for that reason because I know like I'm the type that needs to look and check and this and
Mhm.
that. So I mean, my wife's been great to help me out with it, but it got to the point where, I mean, she let me go about 8 months doing it, but I would get home from work late and I just, I start looking through it and answering people and looking at this and looking, and I was like literally disconnected from my wife and kids in the nights, right? My kids would try to talk to me, I wouldn't hear them, stuff like that. So basically, when I get home from work now, I shut the phone right off. I shut her down whatever time I get home. Weekends too, try to keep if we're not I'll keep it on for we're doing activities with the kids, but just learning the parameters because it's another vice, man. Like it's
100%.
hard to feel, and it does feel good when I do shut it off at night, because then my wife has my undivided attention,
Mhm.
my kids do, but I was almost embarrassed, like when she told me, when you're a kid and you get red in the face, right? Like it was like you're in shit.
Oh yeah.
That's how I felt because like I was honest to God, it was like I was oblivious to it, but I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know if this could sound very familiar to a lot of people, but
100% it will.
so thank you to my wife, who's a wonderful angel for doing that to me. It was great. And sometimes people need help in life and I'm the first to admit it. And,
The
you know,
most important part about any relationship in friendship, business, at home life is being able to call somebody on their shit
yeah,
where it's like, not saying you're fucking up, man, but you should maybe fucking take a look at this.
yeah,
And the people that don't do that, those are hard conversations to have
yeah,
too. Like, because
big time.
it is the business, it is this, as it is that. But at the end of the day, the accomplishment is the fatherhood and the marriage and the house and all those
Yeah,
things, right? And
yeah,
sometimes you lose track of that. So a lot of people do, and it's easy, man, because I thought about this the other day. Do you remember when people hopped on like World of Warcraft and
yeah,
you just never fucking
yes,
saw them again?
yes.
That's what Instagram is.
Broke lots of families up.
It's the same thing. Like, I have a massive community of people that I keep in touch with and like care about and like want to make sure they're succeeding. And
Yeah,
people have highs and people have lows. Like, you want to congratulate everyone that's doing really well right now, and you want to check in on the people that aren't. And like,
yeah,
but if I checked in on everyone on my list every day, it would be a whole day.
yeah,
It would,
yeah,
right? Because the people that are excited want to talk to you about that excitement, and you have to be present. And
yeah,
then the people that are going through lows, man, those are long conversations too, right? It's like you have to juggle it.
yeah,
Um, Especially when you have a family, right? You're coming home to kids that want to see you, and you're
yeah,
fucking buried in a phone, and and you see it as work,
yeah,
right? And like it's gonna help,
yeah.
but it's like
It
take that step back,
step
right?
back. Yeah, that's and that's so I've adapted well to that. So it's just something at first I was like, I think the worst, not I don't know if you say the worst, but the part about it, because for me it's such a big factor for my business, right? It's just done such wonderful,
Massive, by the way,
massive, yes, it's
massive.
massive. So and my whole life, I mean, I've been a business owner since a teenager. I'm 46 years old. And that's my identity my whole life is my work, right? And people knew me by like, oh, Jamie's a hard worker and oh, that guy does great work or good, that's my identity. So all of a sudden I put it on out on blast, right?
Yeah.
It's been a year and a month or whatever. And all these endorphins start going because people start praising me based on work, right? I start meeting friends, which has been a fantastic thing, right? And I still got my family, but I've never been happier by all of this happening to me. Like it's made me, I think even in like I've always thought I've been a good father and a husband, but I think this has even made me better. But just learning how to manage, like we talked about, like
Mhm.
that. And anyone out there that's going through that or that too, or think that you might have that, by all means, man, it's nice to sometimes just take a little bit of a step back and put your family first. I encourage that. And I'm happy I did. And still love my Instagram and just sometimes you just got to find the best way to have a bit of everything and still make sure that everybody's happy and nobody's upset or sad.
Matthew McConaughey had and yes, believe it or not. Um, so he had this acceptance speech at a college or like a university. I think it might have been Texas.
Yes.
And he went out in front of the graduating class and told this like magnificent speech. If you ever have time and you Google it, it's like I don't want to say it's an hour, but it's like it's a good speech.
Off the top of his head.
I mean, probably not,
Yeah.
but that's how it was portrayed,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
He's an actor, so
Always amazing. Yeah.
um, and he talks about having five things, right? Like um, um, his health, being a good husband, being a good father, being a good friend, and work,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, there's a check and balance sheet where, sometimes your career is booming,
Yeah.
but your friendships are starting to fall off,
Yes.
right? So you got to maybe start investing some more time in there, or like your health is doing really well, but the relationship with your wife could probably use a little bit of work or whatever, right? And you have to check that check and balance sheet. And when you add something, like how long have you been on Instagram? A year?
Yeah, September 30th of last year. So
Oh,
whatever.
so fuck a year. Yeah, a year
Yeah.
and a couple of months, which is crazy that what you've done with it so far.
Yeah. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
but what I mean by that is it's a brand new monster that you've let into your house, right? And it is a hell of a tool to
It
use,
is.
but it has to be figured out, wrestled,
Yes.
and then implemented properly. And like I think you're doing a great job.
Thank
Like,
you.
but everybody's gonna stumble like that in the beginning because it's like this is dope. All I've wanted is fucking
Yeah.
to be talking to people all the time, and now I am, and you're talking to tool companies and
Yes.
shit, and
That's
it's
been
like
fun.
but you can get lost in it, just like anything else. I got a new weapon in the Warcraft, or
Oh,
whatever the fuck it is. It's the same deal.
and I think it'll always still be a bit of a struggle for me, to be honest. And just sometimes I have to, it's just such a habit. Like right now, if I picked up my phone, I'm gonna go right to Instagram. It's like your muscle memory. People say with working, you
Yeah,
have muscle memory on the goddamn phone. And but yeah, no, it's like I said, it's been a little bit of up and down, but really happy to be on it, and it's a lot of fun, like working with the tool companies too, and that's a little bit of a roller coaster too. But if you're, like I said, I'm a pretty emotional guy,
not
so
with
no, not with
Columbia.
them. That's been cool. But and talking about that, or no, are we talking about the
Yeah, fuck him. Yeah,
yeah,
not fuck him, Aaron. I
no,
didn't say that.
not
I
fuck
just
me.
meant they're coming out soon, so we should be able to talk about them.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
You go ahead first. This is very
Well,
bad at you.
okay. Well, Sean brought down the yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good. Okay. Okay, okay. Sean brought down the saber, 32-inch saber.
okay, so just to catch everybody up on what's going on, Columbia has made the best skimming blades out there. They're the tomahawks. You can run them over with your car. You can swap out the blades. Like they're awesome. But there's still a huge amount of people out there that want to use plastic.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend the money like they have on the tomahawks. One and done people that just prefer that route.
Buddy,
And so Columbia's come out with the saber, which is the exact same shape as the tomahawk, but the handle is plastic. It's super affordable.
yeah.
And anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just to fucking
I was gonna
catch people.
say another thing, another good part with the saber, in my opinion, which I'm definitely using. Like I'm looking forward to getting a set and using them myself. Um, I think they'd be fantastic for all the handheld work. Like if you've got
Yeah.
a bulkhead or you've got like a wall that's that's 7 feet tall that you can reach by hand and put a 32 blade on or even bigger and pull her down. That'd be real great. It's nice and light that way. But I found that they soared like when you're using them, like I've used other ones that I would say would be similar or Columbia be a bit better. But they soar like they glide. That's not the word I'm looking for. The glideness, like they glide really nice. Yeah, but they're a nice tool. But what I was gonna say before was even people that say they buy a big house and they want to do their own ceilings, right? Like there is people that are handy and
It's
can
been
roll
getting
mud,
that done, man.
or they're watching all these new Instagram videos with all these cool guys doing mud rolling and skim blading.
Crazy.
Yeah, and they're like, I can do that. And then so where do they start looking at skim blades and they say, well, the tomahawks are this much, and I can get these or a set like this. This is more of an economy set for a starter or a homeowner. They would never know any different. Um, and the tomahawks, like in my opinion, you've got to have some good upper strength. Like we're big boys. Like I don't, I'm running that 48 now, like it was 24, right?
48's intense.
48's intense,
And
but
I love it.
I ran it the whole time in
What the
that job.
helicopter propeller.
Oh hell yeah. It's a wind turbine, but it's yeah, so it was cool, man. It was nice. I mean, I've never had a chance to run a tool, a new tool from a company. So thanks for that, buddy, for
Yeah,
bringing that
dude.
down.
It
And
was
thanks to
dope.
Columbia for letting me be part of it.
Well, and I mean, realistically, kind of who better to have do a review with it? Who better to kind of use it? Like, because
And get
you're, I don't know, 70% of the time using skimming blades.
pretty much, man.
Yeah.
I'd say
So
for sure
that's a
70
fucking
to 80, I'm doing that.
was a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
Um,
huge part of what I do.
yeah. And I think that's where I'm going to use them too, is by hand.
Yeah.
Because they're super light. That new case is dope.
Yeah.
It's a huge improvement.
Yes.
And the new handle's dope.
I like
I'm
that.
ready to like move that around and see if everything else can go on it because that little grip at the bottom
Yeah.
is dope.
It'd make a good weapon too if you're working with a guy that you just are getting tired of. You can just butt end him with like the old hockey stick. You can just be like, "Come here, you son of a bitch." Boom.
It's got a good footprint too, right? At the bottom of that, it's a handful.
But yeah, it's no, it's a good tool, man. It's definitely, and another good thing for that tool would be if someone's doing a lot of fiber fuse work, which a lot of us are now, and buying up to the 36-inch rolls, the 3 foot rolls. Pardon me. The good thing with the even the sabres, those are good for wiping because you could roll your mud up on the in the area where you say you got a big, like a 4 foot long sheet by the 36-inch. I actually did a video once. I sent it over to Columbia. I was doing it that way, and and then you roll your mud on, put your fiber fuse on, and then you can literally, as long as your mud's a little bit thinner, you can wipe it with the saber, and then
Right.
it embeds right into the mud, right? Which is which is another good thing, and that saves a lot of time because when you have all your pieces cut, like I had a job where I had about 8 big areas,
Hmm.
and I just went from one to the next, rolled it, put that up. I was using the tomahawk in that situation, but the saber would be fantastic for that also.
Yeah. And I mean it is lighter. Um, I've never found anything in the kit yet that I've been like, this doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when the sabers came out, you kind of sit and go, okay, it's a duplicate, and like, when would I really ever use it? Because I've got all the tomahawks, and like, I love it. I love the fact that it's like something else, but I've kind of put it into a place where it is part of the kit now. I know that I will reach for that instead of going to go get the tomahawk of that size because it's lighter. Like it's the same build. The flexibility on that blade and the way that it's held is the same. Like
Yeah.
it functionally works the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It feels super light. Like when I mean, I was running this whole week that 48 Tomahawk,
Yeah.
and then I put that saber in my hand. It almost felt like anyone that golfs out there, and we used to use the old clunky clubs, and they come out with like the carbon clubs or the hockey sticks, like going from like an old wooden stick or the old Easton to like the new titanium or graphite or whatever. That's the best way to say it's like it's a really, really nice light tool. A lot of people it's good for, I mean, a kid could run it. I could get a
Mhm.
10 or 12-year-old running that. Like it's light, but yet still durable. And I do find the pole, more durable than others that I've used that are similar in weight.
Mhm.
That pull is fairly durable. Like it's still got the plastic lock mechanism, which that can be a little bit tricky at times. It does flex a bit, but with I find they all do that. But for durability wise, I'd say for the lightweights, this is definitely by far my favorite.
So, oh, I should have used the cough button, but
I forgive you, bro.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Does everyone else forgive me? I didn't think so.
Justin Trudeau. He was on, buddy was on the call with Justin Trudeau, man. I'm in getting a goddamn pizza. I come out and he's complaining about politics with Trudeau. I don't know how he got your, how the hell did you get his number?
Aaron gave it to us.
Aaron, he said, no, Aaron must be NDP, man. He's BC.
I don't know.
Those are all, they love the NDP over
Anyone, if you had to guess for $1 million who I'm on the phone with, you can for sure know it has nothing to do with politics. You can you can score that right off of it. The phone call will be like, "Hi, are you full of shit?" Okay, I try not to talk to people like that. Have a good day. That's about as much. That's
there.
about as much patience as I have for
And if
politics.
Mudman Dan's listening, it's about time for another spoof on DJ Shawnee Riz because
I
that
like
was
that a lot, by
that
the way.
was good. Anyone that we have to actually repost that. Maybe Sean can put that up in the next
No,
couple of
don't
days.
repost it.
That was so good,
Bully
man.
Dan into doing it again because that was great for me.
And I remember telling you about it, and Sean's like, you know what, dude? The weirdest thing about that is he literally had me word for word.
Well,
Like,
this was not an impersonation attempt of like whatever. This was like a word for word, wore my hat the same way, wore his glasses the same way. Like he I don't know. Dan, if you're listening, you are full of shit if you tell me that you didn't rehearse that. There had to be a script. I couldn't have done it word for word again. And he banged it off. And then he did the next one too. I love this.
that guy is so creative, man. He's a
Oh,
really good
dude, I
guy too.
love Dan. I
Yeah.
wish he is one of those people I just wish lived closer.
Yeah.
Because it's like, um,
He'd be right in with us, man. He's a totally cool dude.
did you see the Macho Man
Yes.
thing from him?
Yes, he did a great job.
Dude,
Yeah. He's like an actor, the guy. Like he could literally be like a comedian.
he tears his shirt open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dan is jacked, bro. I was like, you hide that well, bro.
First thing Sean's checking out his chest.
It exploded out of his shirt. I don't know what else to say.
Dan, don't get too excited, man.
Get excited,
He's
buddy.
far away, dude.
I would be stoked.
He's far away.
Yeah, you're safe for now.
He's always doing the ball gazer, and I got him with a couple of them. It's been a long time since I worked somewhere. You can tell my jokes are still like from like the late 90s. Ball gazer.
I hit Hayden with that every fucking time I see him, and I get him every time.
Oh
And
shit.
it like he gets smart to it, but I get him at least once every time I see him now because it's just like, what's this guy here?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Yeah, no, it's like I said, man, it's been a great week. It's
It
been,
has been a dope week, man.
yeah,
Working with you
definitely.
was a fucking pleasure.
Thank you, man. I say the same. Like it's, I always say too, like I said, I spend a lot of time trying to spread encouragement and love on the net, like with my stuff, but I really do believe in all that. And I try to like march to the beat of my own drum and represent my family, represent my business, represent myself. Don't believe in fake bullshit people and
Mm-mm.
idiots. Just be true. That's what I love about you, man. You're down to earth. You're right up the middle. This guy's not afraid to say to say what's on his mind in case you don't know.
I mean, if I believe it to be true, I have no problem saying it. And when I also don't say anything that I wouldn't say in front of anybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's involved with the conversation. Like I don't know.
You're wise beyond your years.
Yeah,
Put it that way.
I'm so old.
Yeah. Put it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's like a level of how much have you been fucked over in life, and like there's a level of how comfortable are you with yourself.
Yeah, man.
And when you max both of those out, not max them out, but you know what I mean. You have experience in both.
Yeah.
It becomes very easy to just be yourself.
Yes.
And then because it's like I don't care if somebody's upset about something that I've said. If I believe it to be true, it's the fucking truth to me, man.
Yeah.
And if it's not, You're more than welcome to show me how it's not, but
Yeah.
I doubt it because I'm not dumb. You know what I mean? And some people do not like that shit, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
It's when people call me for advice, it's not because I'm gonna tell them what they need to hear. It's because I'm gonna shoot straight and
Yeah.
you know,
It's the best
if you're
way.
fucking up, I'm gonna tell you you're fucking up.
Oh yeah, I know that.
I'm that friend.
But like we were talking about earlier, like I'm not that I'm built different. I'm a little bit, I guess, not the old school, but back in our day, man, I can take someone telling me something.
Yeah.
You tell me something, it's like I'm more likely to take, like I was talking about to you before, somebody that I respect and care about, that they would tell me something. I'm 9 out of 10 going to take that serious. I might not be happy about it in the moment,
Mhm.
but it'll just stay in my mind until I actually activate on it. I always try to follow that. I mean, even some of the shit you've told me, which most of it we can't talk about on the mic, but
That's right.
just kidding. No, but even like some of the things and some of the thought I think to myself, ah, fuck, But then sure enough, like it's pretty much I think you're 10 out of 10. I don't know if it's been 10 things, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I appreciate that. And a lot of people these days, man, you're probably one of the more cooler millennials I know, to be honest.
Yeah, when you said millennials earlier, I'm like, man, that is my age gap too. Like these useless fucking people.
Oh my God.
And that's good. I'm happy to be the fucking 1%.
I know like millennials, like I remember growing up and our parents would always be like, "Oh, your generation and this and that," and you never think that. Then you get to our generation, you look down, you think, "Oh God, the millennials!" Like, and then you start working for them, and that's even a different fucking animal. Sorry, millennials out there. I still love doing your houses. Most of you are like,
80% of you are terrible.
yeah, but they're like the way that they even treat people. A lot of millennials, man, it's unreal. But times are have changed. They're not are changing, but they have changed, man. That's for sure. And I just wish people would be more decent to people in our world, man, because most people are just a bunch of arseholes. And that's what I say to my kids. 90% of people are arseholes. If you run into that 10%, you find a good person,
Hold on to them.
friggin' hang on to her. And that's the best way. And I recommend that to anyone. You come across someone that's good, hang on to them because not a lot of good people come around. I mean, you think in your life, like anyone that's out there listening, like just count on probably one hand the amount of good people, like real
Mhm.
good, solid people that literally have never proven you anything different but being solid and being cool. It's hard to find those people.
So there's like a level of would I trust this person with my truck? Would
Yeah.
I trust this person with my XYZ? And then there's that level of like, would I trust this person with my mother? Like
Yes.
if my mother
Yes.
had to be picked up by the airport or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like that's kind of my standard for friendship.
Yeah.
Like
That's a good way to look at it,
it
man.
is, right?
Have you always thought that way?
Not always,
Yeah.
but things have been changing, right? Like if you couldn't, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you friends with someone like that for?
Yeah.
Like intimate friends.
Yeah.
Like friendship is very different than like, your homies, like your group, your people,
Yeah.
right?
I'll tell you why. It's because people get desperate
Yeah.
because they don't have many other people. Families got to go through so much bullshit, man. I never did. But I started going through bullshit with my family, like extended into that. I'm like, no, I'm not letting anyone that sucks around my
Mhm.
children. I'm not letting anyone close to, and that's what you got to do with friends too, man. Like as hard as it is, because people would rather have one shitty good friend than have no friends,
That's the thing.
which is sad, but it's true, man. And you guys know that you're out there. Just think of the friends that you do have. I bet you there's a lot of shitty ones. You should just literally peace out on them. It will hurt and it'll suck for a bit, but you'd be way better off in the end, and you'll have a lot less anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, the dangerous machine that happens with those types of people is they're so desperate for that like friendship, attention, whatever you want to call it, that they then are willing to manipulate themselves
Yes,
to
yes,
how do I now keep this friend? How do I now keep this relationship? How do I, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And when the further you stray from that path of who you are, for one, the harder it is to keep up because it's not who you are.
yeah.
Um,
It's a charade or facade, right?
and then eventually it comes out, and then you
Yeah,
lose those friends because you've been this fucking weirdo trying to be.
Yeah.
somebody that you're not, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
If someone's gonna be your real friend, like, you got to be like, yeah, I'm a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I'm the problem. It's me,
Yeah. Pretty
and
much.
figure it out. If you don't like it, move on.
Yeah. And it's hard. Friendships, like we talked about this last time, like any type of relationship is super hard, man.
Yeah,
Whether it's with, maybe not with your animals, like, because that's
it
kind of
is
like,
too, dude.
it
You
could
gotta
be
love them.
hard.
You gotta take care of them. You gotta like,
But your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your friends, your neighbors, they're like there's all these different kinds of relationships. Your relationship at your local grocery store, you see the
mhm.
same people. There's I don't know, there's probably 50 different types of relationships, right? So we spend all our life trying to manage all these different relationships. And sometimes it takes away from the most important ones that you have because you have so many of these other ones to attend to and to work with too. And relationships are a huge part of our lives, like massive.
See, and I think that's what clicked with me is I was like, this standard of where I am like, if you're here, um, I've got nothing but time with you, full access, phone's always on, you have my personal number, like, you know what I mean? And then when the people just aren't there, we can still be friends.
Yeah.
We can fucking hug when I see you and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like I put next to zero fucking effort into what's outside of that realm because what's in that realm is what's important.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm never unkind and I'll never be cruel and things like that. But you have to be able to go, is this worth my time or not?
Yeah.
And then just and make the decision.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super
And
true.
some things too, like I've held on to friendships forever because it's like I don't want to fucking not see this guy ever again.
Yeah.
Right. And but make that decision, make it a decision,
Yeah.
not a fucking thing you're panicking about because you'll be sad for a week or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And then you have like even when you get married, right? And then you go from you got buddies that are single and you're a married guy or you're right, that's a
Kids.
for kids, or one guy doesn't got kids, he doesn't really know what that's like, and you got kids and it could become a challenging thing, right?
Had a buddy of mine after I had Brawley. We were young, we were living in Burlington on like a really nice street.
Yeah.
And he comes over and he's like, yeah, I got a dog. It's like the same, man. Puppies and babies are the same thing. And I was like, they for sure are not.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, they are. And like was trying to tell me about it. I'm like, this isn't gonna work out, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm exhausted from the having a newborn in my house, and like I'm staying awake to hang out with you, and you're gonna tell me about how your puppy is the same as
Uh,
my child.
Not even close.
It was just crazy. But I just mean, and to him it was, you know. But I mean that it's like we're in different fucking places, dude.
That's perception.
100% perception.
Yeah, yeah, but it's yeah, like I said, it's a juggle, man. Life's a juggle, but try to always make the best of it, stay as positive as a guy can. That's what I try to do every day. I always tell my wife, let's just take it day by day. That's my saying, man, because if you really think of it, if you spend all this time trying to look too far ahead and what can we do and what can this happen and what it just creates a ton of anxiety and a ton of uncertainty for a guy like me anyway. I like to just kind of go day by day, like
Yeah,
to a point,
live at the
not
moment.
live in the moment, like kind of
Yeah.
say, okay, what's going on tomorrow? Well, this is what I want to accomplish. What are the kids got? What's this? We kind of get through that and then meet the goals and then I get through that and then look at the next day.
Yeah, but in a month from now, you've got a job coming up.
Yeah.
What the fuck would you put a strategy together to start that job? It's in a month from now.
I
Like,
don't
what
even
would
know
you
him.
worry about?
I
Right?
That's what I was telling you
Yeah.
before. Like I know the job that I'm on now. If you ask me, okay, I'm here all next week too at this job. What's my job after that? I have no clue. My
Mhm.
wife does. She's got the calendar. I don't even look at the calendar. I don't want to know what it is.
Yeah.
As time comes closer, I might start, because I like to stay focused on exactly what I'm doing. I don't want to be thinking like, okay, like if don't get me wrong, if I've got like a killer job upcoming and
Oh,
those will be in
totally
my
different.
mind,
Totally
but
different.
all the average jobs in that, um, yeah, it's like yeah, it's nice to some people can look ahead, and I like to just kind of go
Mhm.
day by day and pound through that way.
And I mean that worry thing. I talked about that on the last podcast where it was like, I think the quote was, um, there are more terrible things in the world than you could possibly imagine.
Yeah,
right? So it's like the things that you're worried about. If you want to worry about what you should be worried about, Google EMPs.
Yeah.
And like Google how quickly when the power goes down, everybody riots because there's
Yeah.
no food. Like there are real things to worry about.
Oh, big time.
But you don't seem to be worried about those. So like your trivial everyday bullshit, what is that paralyzing for?
Oh, I
Like
know.
there are real problems out there if you want to be worried about shit.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, that paralysis, the worry paralysis is shocking.
Yeah.
And I've been there.
Yeah.
100%. You're just worried about the next thing, or like things are slow, or like somebody's
Oh,
sick, or whatever it is, right? And but like everyday shit, you got to get over that shit.
and I always say too, like with kindness and stuff too, and um being kind in all certain areas and having good karma and all those different types of things, man, they really do come back to a guy like me. Like I said, I know Sean and I were talking about this, and I mean, I always have a lot of good things going in my life. I do have
Yeah,
some negative things too, but I do have a lot of good things going, and that comes with years of experience. And I'm not a rich man. I don't act like I'm somebody that I'm not. The way that I act, that's actually who I am.
yeah,
Anyone out there that, might think that I'm exaggerating or this and that, that's too bad that you think that way. But I am who I am, man. And I mean, in life, I believe if you do have something to prove, you need to prove yourself.
hmm,
And I've always had the mindset of everything in life does have to be earned. I don't care what it is. And I'm always willing to try to earn it. Doesn't mean I'll always get everything that I want or need, but I mean, I've set up something special. That I have my second son. One of my sons is now has his own business, just like me in Calgary, doing the exact same thing. He started working with me at 13 years old, and Sonny Boy will definitely open his own business too. And
hmm.
Sean had a chance to meet him.
Talented.
He's very talented. I mean, he's just turned 17. Well, not just, he's 17 and a half.
Think about what you were doing at 17.
Oh, I know. And, this guy's raised all my kids like old school,
Mhm.
kind of, never ever hit, never laid a hand on no one
Properly.
properly. But yeah, so that's like we're talking about too. That's also my legacy, and I am a very proud person too. So, by no means I'm not trying to brag out there. I'm just trying to be who I am. And at the end of the day, like we were also talking about like almost prejudice. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm not the greatest. I do
We'll
have a
get there.
10, I have a grade 10
Me
education.
too,
So
buddy.
yeah, we're the same thing there. But I don't know if prejudice is the word. So all you grammatically smart people, please excuse this part.
Yeah,
Um,
don't comment or like message me about it, but
yes, yeah.
give grace.
Don't add Sean. Just don't add him. Don't add him. And anyways, like with a lot of the females that are in the trades now too, which is fantastic to see. We talked about this before. I was one of these, I don't know if you call it early hirers, but back when I used to do multifamily condominium buildings, I did have, half my crew was female. And it was fantastic to work with females and to see how great they've done in our industry and not taken over, but Jesus Christ, they're doing fantastic. And go ahead, bro.
Yeah, okay. So the one thing that stood out to me when we had that conversation is you were like, I was hiring females before hiring females was cool.
Yeah,
And cool is not the thing
it's
to
the wrong
pull a
word.
comment out of that. No, it doesn't. It's the right word. It's the
Okay.
exact right thing. But there was a time where hiring women to come onto a job site was nothing but a fucking nightmare
Yeah.
because men are not ready for it. Men are pigs. Women add a wrench to a job site that isn't there when it's all men. Like
Yeah.
there's not like um harassment going on, and there's not like all of these things, people being treated unfairly because they're smaller, like all of these types of things, right? So I just wanted to say that as a testament before you
Yes.
tell the story, like hiring women has not always been a fucking cakewalk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the people like you that were hiring them,
Yeah.
um the guys like you were doing a huge service to that.
Before we knew I did it because they were fantastic workers. The women that I had working for
Yeah,
me.
it wasn't that they were women, it's that they
No,
were the best
they
of the
were,
people that you were.
yes, they listened to me. Like most of these guys that work for me, they're freaking coming over either still half drunk or
Yeah.
high or whatever the hell back in the boom, man. You had to kind of put up with that shit. And I had a great experience with them. I mean, I did have to protect them. I was in a multifamily buildings with lots of other trades. And I mean, they worked very closely by me. I was almost like their bodyguard at the same time. And that's how it was. And
That's a leader.
yeah, thank you. And people would say all the time, "Oh, I don't want to fucking hire a woman, man. You got to treat them differently." That used to be that was back in the day what people would say, and I'd say, "Well, what the hell's the difference?" Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I had a mother, I had a sister, and I'm now a father of a daughter, you know, and yeah, I went outside the box, man, and it's I was always happy to do that
But I mean, quote unquote, outside of the box,
back then.
well, like the fact that the problem was you have to treat them differently.
Yeah,
No, you don't treat them differently. They're
yeah,
people, they're human beings, right? Like,
yeah.
and that,
That's what I did, exactly like I treated a
and
man.
that's what I mean. And that
Yeah.
being outside of the box thinking is fucking crazy.
I know that was
So crazy.
times have changed, which is nice. Like that's a part. Some of the things that have changed, I'm not super happy with. I mean, I'm not going to go down those rabbit holes,
Mhm.
but stuff like that is great. Like a woman deserves just as much equality as a man. My wife's a business owner. Like my wife's the owner of called Jamie Painting and Drywall.
Mhm.
I'm the general manager, you know? So call it what you want. That woman is so much has so much to do with the success of this small business. It's unreal. Sean knows. Sean sees all the stuff that she does behind the scenes. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
solid.
thank you. And I mean, it takes a great partner in any respect to be successful. And I owe a lot of that to her, and I do appreciate her for that. And but anyways, we were talking about that too, and then you got people like myself, like I mean, I'm 46 years old. I'm a little bit, I would even say a little bit older to be on Instagram in a way, not too old, but I mean, I'm 4 years away from 50 years old, right? So there is people that are almost like prejudice to people like me that are on there because they probably think, holy shit, like this guy's bragging, oh, as if he's that busy. But I mean, Sean's down here. He sees how busy I am. I show him all the messages I get for jobs, and I'm a busy guy, man. And I'm proud to say that, but I'm also proud to help a lot of people.
Mhm.
Anyone out there that doesn't, anyone listening right now, and if I've helped you, you know who you are, and I will pay it forward until the day I die, and I will help anybody with anything I can. So people out there that look at people like me in a negative light or think it's bullshit, um, you should be more accepting of people like us because the reason is especially people like me that are willing to actually share all my secrets and
100%.
help. Like I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help people. Yeah, I'm successful, but that took 28 years to get to what I'm doing now, and it took a lot of time away from my family. It took a lot of falling down. It took a lot of bones breaking. I mean, I have crazy amounts of pain, but I mean, I love what I do. But like I said, I just anyone that's out there thinking that way, and I know there is some, and can't please everybody, like they said. But you know, God bless you, and
Yeah.
hopefully, I can help you someday.
One of the things that you said today was like the big brother vibes,
Yeah,
right? And like you're saying, yeah, like you'll be 50 soon or whatever.
yeah,
But there has to be those people that have been through it that are teaching the next generation,
yes,
like are there for people to answer questions and, just even just support. Um, yeah, I mean, that whole generation, like I think you're 8 years older than me or something like that,
yeah.
right?
78. You're born
Um,
86, eh?
yeah. So that gap, the like kind of gatekeeping, and like I remember working for guys that didn't want to show me how to do my job past this point.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, why? And they're like, well, because if you can do that, they don't need me anymore.
yeah,
And it's like, but you're dumb. Like, I'm so happy to be here working for you. Why wouldn't
yeah,
you teach me how to do it?
yeah,
And then we could all do it faster. Like,
yep. I
and
experienced
it,
the same thing.
and I mean, if there weren't people like that, we wouldn't know what we're fucking doing. Like the first crew that I jumped on when I went full time had a 70-year-old guy on it with 50 years experience.
Oh yeah, I've had that
And
working Tom, man. I was
dude,
telling you, yeah,
couple of months showed me a lot of stuff.
that's
Um,
that's a smart way to learn, man. That's how I learned my whole life.
yeah, and I mean, the other thing that we touched on this week, and anybody listening to this, you're going to understand like karma is important, paying it forward is important, being a good part of the community is important.
Yeah,
And when you live like that, actually, things turn up fucking aces for you,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and you were saying that this week where it's like you don't even want to go on and say all this the good
No,
stuff coming down the pipe because it
half of
feels
it I
like
don't
you're
say.
bragging.
Half
But
of it I don't say. I know half of it I literally,
yeah,
my wife will be my testament to this. I don't even say it because I'm like, what happens to the guy that the phone hasn't been ringing in a week?
yeah, and then it's
Right.
like
And here's me on there. Oh, hey guys, holy shit, I just picked up a full popcorn removal and Sean knows what those are worth. I don't need to say that. But I mean, Sean also knows how much you get to tape a basement. And I bet you if
no,
Sean told people and explained that, people would think bullshit, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like there is some people that have things set up
and
like,
let me just say, you showed me the bank transfer. In the back of my head, I would have been like, bullshit. If you showed me that, if you
what?
just told me that number and we're like, hey man,
Oh, I could have did that too. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
because it would.
I can produce them, man. I
I
swear on my
mean, I think I make pretty good money doing stuff, but if you're quoting it and people want you to do it because you got the right reviews, you built the right company, you have the right skill set,
yeah,
like
man.
you charge whatever the fuck you want.
I'm getting 3 out of 3, sometimes 4 to 10 jobs,
Yeah,
right? And do I care that the other 6 don't hire me?
no,
I mean, I care in a bit, but another way, those 4 people that did take me out of the 10, for one, it's going to book me up for a bunch of weeks because they're usually pretty good jobs.
yeah,
And those people believe in me. They believe in the 521 reviews on Homestars,
which is nuts.
which is not bad for like a one man wrecking crew, pretty much, right? With Sonny Boy helping and my
Yeah,
wife doing everything in behind the scenes, but just for labor wise,
family business.
for a family business, and that's not a brag, even though it sounds like a brag, but I have earned that, so I think I'm free to talk about it. But anyways, so that'll comes with the price, and I feel like when I do price with people, people say, "Oh, can I get a cash deal or can I get a deal on that?" I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, do you have somebody better that's going to do the job? I mean, I'm not the best in the world, but I'm just like, no, man, like that's my price and this is what we're doing. And if someone asks me to do something extra, yeah, I'll give you a quote on that. Like I'm not like I'm a very nice guy on my sites, but to a point, like I'm also a very smart businessman.
Yeah,
And it's yeah, it's all fun, dude.
but that's the thing. Are you Uncle Bob fucking around, or are you running a business?
Running a business.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is it's like, hey, can we get a cash deal? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you do, I guess you don't pay the tax, and I hope to Christ nobody checks.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
will you do this at a discounted rate so I can put you in a position to be in trouble?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we won't be doing that.
Yeah.
So my cousin has a agricultural fencing company.
Yes.
He's got that tank.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this thing is like literally 6 by 8 at least, and it's on tank treads.
That puts the posts in.
And it fucking smashes those posts in. But you can like traditionally these things are pulled behind tractors, and it's a
Okay.
pain in the ass on hills, and it's like right. So he buys this thing. It's like 100 and something grand.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it totally revolutionized his business. But in the beginning, everybody wants a cash deal because they're farmers and
Oh,
they're all these people. So what he started doing was giving them the cost plus 13%.
really?
So he's like, you want to do a cash deal? Sure. And then he just put it through his business as a fucking
Just rounds up the pennies to like the first even dollar. It's like,
literally. And like this is the cost through my business with tax. If you want to pay legitimately, thanks for the 13% extra, I guess. But
yeah,
it was just there is ways to do things.
yeah, big time. But like I said, if you're like, as you get better in trades, and there's guys out there
Sorry,
that,
Jonathan.
yeah, as you get better in trades, I mean, you slowly put your prices up. If your phone's ringing a lot and your calendar's
Yeah.
filled, then jack up your prices a bit and just kind of like let the prices go kind of how the market goes, right? Like when we have no goddamn choice. When the bread goes up or the milk, we got to pay it because the this has gone up or the commodity of oil or gas, and we got to pay. Well, guess what? When your phone's busy, you're a commodity and you've got too much jobs there, and another somebody wants you to fit you in, well, that's going to come at a price. You might have to put it up 40% and just throw the price in, and you'll be surprised, man. People, it's not that you want to be in the market of doing that all the time, but
Hey, we're in a bunch of pressure now, okay? Because XYZ, and we got to get you in like right now because we're fucked. Oh,
yeah,
okay. So like 40% fucked?
yeah,
And then people's tune change
yes,
where they're like, no, but like we want you to, do all this extra stuff, even though that we want you to bring us in and bump other customers that are good for you and do all this stuff. It's like, no, no, no. If you want this, I'll make it worth my while to drop what I'm doing
yeah,
and come and rescue you.
Yeah.
but this is what that costs. And
Yeah.
if they don't want to pay that, you can fucking wait because all these people waited.
Oh yeah.
Like, and as a business person, it's just a smart move.
The worst are the patch jobs. If you ever get a job with a lot of guys in drywall finishing, buddy's put a wall here, miscellaneous wall here, a closet here, and there's all this miscellaneous stuff in a house. Those you always price high, always,
You have
because
to.
for one, those people will never, all the tying in old to new and all that shit. Like if you go in there and you think this is probably worth 2,500, charge 5,000.
Mhm.
I'm not even fucking kidding. Like those jobs, especially always, because people will get you, especially all that hodgepodge stuff. It's really hard to find a good finisher to, so those ones are, and learning kind of those as you do more jobs and you kind of know, right? Like I went to a quote today. I'm just like, I don't think this guy's even like he's
Mhm.
looking for someone cheap, right? I'm like, why is he calling me? But he calls me with all the right words. Oh, I seen you on Instagram. I
Yeah.
love your reviews on Homestars. And then you get over there and he first thing he says to me, well, can you do cash deal? Can we do cash deal? I'm like, I'm a business dude. Like this is going to be a full house. Like, no, I can't do a cash deal for you. So he probably won't hire me based on that because he'll get some friggin' rando coming in.
Or
Um,
half.
for half that's going to do it for cash. It's going to do a complete shit job, right? Screw the guy over, but he's going to feel happy because he got a cash price, and everybody thinks that the money's the main thing. But it's yeah,
And
it's
for
a
people doing that, anybody listening, these guys that come in and do that shit don't pay their taxes
yeah,
and aren't insured
yes.
and
Don't have
don't
WSIB,
have, anything that's legitimate. That's what makes them so fucking cheap.
but they got a pocket full of weed.
Well, some of them.
Just
Don't bash weed on my podcast. You could have said other drugs.
yeah, the
But you
people.
know what I mean. Like if somebody comes in, when I was running commercial sites, we used to say the lowest quote either is looking to harm us or has forgotten something. And you
Yes,
just don't take it.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. Like you have guys that work for the union, love the union, everybody settle down, but they're used to making 35 bucks an hour. I don't know, 35 cents a board foot or something, right? Or
yeah,
whatever it's going to be. And what they don't see is all the contributions that go in and like their pension and all those types of things. Like they're making considerably more money than what they think they are as
yes,
the take home,
yes,
right?
and the security of it all, right?
Right. So then that shit take home, not shit, but still,
But we'll call it piss.
yeah.
Sorry,
Um,
topic. Sorry,
they
guys.
bring that into our realm. Like for one, if you're a union, you're not supposed to be fucking working outside of the union, period.
Is that right? Eh?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but I mean, what you don't do is come and undercut everybody to do some work when you're slow because you have no work or whatever and you're used to making XYZ. Like at least understand what the market is doing
Yeah,
and then do that. Have your skills get you your work or knock your shit down 10% or something to be that much cheaper. But these guys that come in at half
yeah,
because that's all they need to pay their rent that month, it's like all you're doing is smashing down the
yeah,
people that own their own businesses and running around and
yeah,
all the hardship to build it, or they're just really bad,
yeah. And what
right? Because there are people that like watch Phil on the internet
I
and
think
then
they can
go
do
quote a
that.
fucking 8,000 foot job
Yeah.
to do this for 4 grand. It's like, can you though?
And the people take them. That's
They
the
do.
that's the bad part.
They do.
But you want to know why they're half? I'll tell you exactly why.
Mhm.
Anyone at home that you've got three quotes and you wonder why Jamie or Sean's is the highest and you got a couple ones that are lower, and especially if they're half, the reason why they're half is because they probably have zero reputation. I bet you if you ask them their company name, throw them in Google, see what comes up. With reputation and with experience, and when you can prove anything in life, that you're going to actually earn more. So as you build and people are afraid to get online to get reviews done because they don't want to be accountable for every job they do. A lot of people want splash and dash. People act like, oh, I fucking care, man. I get in there. But most of us, like we're all supporting our family. We do want to go not as quick as we can, but you want to go quick. You want to still go to bit efficiently, right? Um, so that's the main reason why people are half the price. But the guy that's double, I bet you in most situations, if you research on all those companies, you say, okay, oh yeah, well this guy does have a lot of reviews. Oh wow, he's got a lot of. There's a lot. If you call Jimmy Painting and Drywall, there's a lot on this guy. Well, that comes with the price, right? And it's nice to be able to get to that point in your career where I'm always very fortunate. Like I'm lucky usually to have 2 or 3 months ahead of me. Sometimes I might get caught up at 6 weeks and I'm trying to get other things, but take a long time to get to that point because there's a lot of uncertainty. All the young people with business, you're so happy that you're busy and you got 3 jobs or 2 jobs, and then you have nothing else on the calendar and your phone hasn't rang in 10 days.
Mm.
And that's also very stressful. So everyone out there that does go through that, just hang in there, do everything you can. There's all kinds of resources to be able to get more business. Reach out to me. I'll give you all kinds of ideas of how I get my phone to ring, on top of reputation. But just dig hard, man. Work as hard as you can, and that phone will ring, and stick with it. And if you can get through the first 10 years of business, even as a young tradesperson, I'll tell you, man, the rewards are fantastic. Like you can do things in this industry, in the drywall finishing industry for your family that will change a generation if you do things properly.
Mm.
And, like I said, it's
Generations,
ins,
because
yes.
your kids you've figured out, and like your son out in Alberta is using your old contacts and stuff,
Yeah,
right? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying? That like
yeah, yeah, exactly.
that's what I mean. Like
I'm happy.
it's a big thing. Yeah,
Yeah, especially when you can, like we were talking about the teach a man to fish. Were we talking about that, or who was I talking to the,
sure.
yeah,
I like where this is going.
I was talking with the customer actually,
Okay, yeah.
when the job we were at, you were inside
You're like, this
working.
guy likes to fish.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking taught him.
Well, you say, that, and I'll probably get this wrong because my memory is not the best, but,
Yeah.
um, instead of giving a man a fish, if you teach him to fish, he's able to feed his family for life.
Mhm.
And in my case, I mean, I'm on my second son. That's Sonny Boy. I'm almost guaranteed he's going to go into business for himself. And I have my oldest son now is also in business. But as a father, like the feeling that you've got 2 out of 4 sons, that so far that are following your footsteps, and the skills that you taught them with your grade 10 education, barely, and coming from nothing really, and they're able to, like, raise their families and children and all those good things. That is enough, man. Like if that's my legacy, if I die tomorrow, and sorry to be so morbid, I don't want to, hoping I
No,
don't die
you're good,
tomorrow.
man.
Yeah, but that would be the legacy that I would love to carry or have, whatever the word is.
That is the beautiful thing about the trades, because you could be a super good banker, and it doesn't mean your kids are going to be good bankers. And it
Yes.
doesn't mean that your kids are going to find banking jobs either,
Yeah.
right? In the trades, you have built a business of something you're very good at, and you're very good at because of the process you've created, right? And teaching someone that process, it means that they can now fish. So that quote is, catch a man a fish and he'll eat for a day.
Yes.
Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his
Thank
life,
you.
right? And so that's essentially what you're saying is like, um teach your kids your
Yeah.
process fucking works. And like, and I mean business, marketing, actually doing the work, like
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. You can pass that down in the trades. You can't do that if you're a fucking investment banker or if you're a brain surgeon, like
Yeah.
those types of things.
It's a
Like,
wonderful though.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and we're a testament to that. I've got like 16 high school credits.
Yeah.
So I think I'm like grade 9.5,
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but the other part of that coin with the trades is it takes work.
Yeah.
You
Hard
you
work.
you can float your ass through school and
Yeah.
hit 60s
Yeah.
and pass, right? And then get a job and so on and so forth. You can't do that in the trades.
Yeah.
If everything that we handed over was 60% good,
Yeah.
you
Wouldn't
wouldn't
work.
work anymore.
No.
You
Yeah.
just wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially with your kids. I really hope Scarlett
Yeah.
takes on to the trades.
Oh
I
yeah.
think she will. She's very intricate. Like she'll be good.
Yeah.
But I mean, if she does, she'll take off, right?
Your
And
son too. You never know, man. You never know how
he's gonna
things.
be an
Yeah,
astrophysicist.
that's
I
right.
know.
That's right. My daughter too. I do think the same way, and
Yeah.
all these women come in. I say to my wife all the time, like, I'm hoping Pipey will, I call her Pipey, it's Piper, but I'm hoping that she'll work with Daddy too, right? And just to be able to teach her and that too. It's yeah, it's great, man. I mean, everybody needs the money. The money's obviously a very important part of business where we all stress about that, even if you're getting big jobs or small jobs. I mean, as a businessman, I consider myself a successful small business person, but we're always still thinking about the dollar, man. That's just the way it goes. That's part of it, right? Everybody just has to, it is, I wouldn't say a struggle, but it's part of it, man. Money
Mhm.
rules us. That's what this world is based upon. It's all about the dollar, and everything else seems to always come second.
And anybody that is worried about money, no matter how much money you have, you will have the problems that you have.
Oh, big time.
Because if you overspend and you make 10 times more money, you're going to overspend,
Oh, hell yeah.
right?
Big time.
And if money is the problem, you need to take a look at the whole solution again, where it's like you're unhappy.
Yeah.
It's not you're unhappy because you don't have enough money. You're just fucking unhappy. I
Yeah.
know broke people that are super happy,
Yes, me too.
you know?
They say some of the most happiest people are people with the least amount of money.
Yeah, or the least give a shit about stuff.
They're also the most what do you
Generous.
say, generous, like for charities and stuff too. It's usually the people that hardly have any money are the people that want to give the most.
It's purpose.
Yeah. It's interesting how that works if you actually really think of it. And usually, I mean, even some of my clients, like the people, I don't know this for everybody, but usually the more money they have, the more ignorant they are,
Hmm.
in a lot of situations. And nothing worse than working in a house and someone's looking down on you. That's always really killed me over the years. I'm such a proud person and I'm in someone's house and because they've got living in a $2, $3 million house and probably 5 mil in the bank or whatever. And they look at you like you're not a piece of shit, but
Yeah, less.
yeah, you're just some bitch pigeon that's come over to do some drywall plaster. Oh, it's over there, henchman.
Yeah.
Go fed. Oh man, those type of people, they're out there too. That's when you're working with the public, you're often surprised.
Yeah, but in my opinion, anyways, the people that are like that, it's because, just like I said before, happiness isn't your thing. Money is your thing. You like having money, you have lots of money.
Yeah.
But you don't have lots of money like you're throwing it in the air, though. Like you're
Yes.
super stingy
Yeah.
when it comes to like getting a good job done. If you want to get a shitty job done, that's what you want to pay for.
Yeah.
Like that, like going, well, healthcare. You have private healthcare
Yes, we do. Yeah.
because you're like, I don't want the doctor that what did 60s. I
Yes.
want good doctors.
Yeah.
Like I want to know that I'm being treated properly. Like
Yeah.
if I have to hire somebody to do something, it's because I can't do
Yeah.
it myself, or I don't have the time to do it myself,
Yes.
but I would still like it to be done to the level that my standards,
Yeah, man.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If I go get my beard trimmed, I'm gonna walk into the nicest place there and go, "Who is your best beard person?" I'll wait.
Yes.
Right? And I
Yeah.
don't care what it costs because I want something done and I want it done properly, right? Same
Yeah.
with tattoos, same with anything, right? Your car, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's because I look at life differently. Like
Yeah.
the money is not my focus. Happiness is my focus. Do I
Hap-
want to get under my truck and make a fucking mess on my driveway and eat some oil and like do all this other shit, or do I want to pay somebody $200 to go through the truck
Yeah.
once every couple of months? Like I'm not doing it,
Yeah. I'm the
right?
same way, man.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's like learning when we came back from Newfoundland, like we moved out to Newfoundland in the last 10 years. I've been there twice and been both fantastic experiences in lots of ways and not others, not the
Oh
greatest in
yeah.
others. It was a wishy-washy thing, but it's an experience. I always tell my family we had that experience. We're back in Ontario and happy with that. Um, where the heck was I going with this?
Oh,
Uh,
the THC kicks in.
with the THC. What the heck we were just talking about before that? It was the
How great I am. The Columbia Sabres.
Yeah, it was in the Sabres. Oh my God. This is what happens when it's late at night. We've had a long day and had a little nip of the THCC
I
there.
love it.
I don't know what the hell I was talking about. It probably sucked and it was probably really stupid.
No,
And I probably said it already 20 times. So
be on a good path, but it's ruined now.
it was on a good path. But
Let's talk about the 48-inch tomahawk because we haven't talked about that.
oh my God, that thing's a mammoth, man. I got that thing in the mail. I was just like, I knew I had it all planned. Like I'm a planner, like in a way for like work stuff. This job I've been really looking forward to for, I've talked to you about it, I think over a month ago.
So,
So I was really looking forward to this one. And they have another house that I'm will most likely do when they move out of that one to come into this one. I'll probably do the same thing over there. So I want to make, as long as they're impressed, which I'm
mhm,
pretty sure I'll be able to make that happen. Um, but the 48 Tomahawk, man, and picking that up, I'm like, I got to get that. I'm like, that's going to be
smashing
massive.
through rooms.
It's a great tool. It takes a lot of torque, like to push, like lots of mud on the ceiling,
Mhm.
but it's beauty, man. I mean, anyone that's seen the videos from our multimedia guy Shay, if you're listening, what's
Shout out to
happening?
Shay.
Yeah, Shay was was complaining a bit this weekend, but I'm not gonna hold that against you, Shay. We still love you, bud. Not this weekend. No, Shay's a good guy. But anyways, yeah, it's a fantastic tool. Anyone that is doing ceiling transformation, that's a really good tool to have handy. I think I'll be using it in a lot of jobs, to be honest. But and then sometimes it's funny if you take it into the hallway and then you go to turn to you go to turn to do this the narrow part and you're just like, holy shit, it only makes about three quarters, so it just kind of gets trapped in the middle like a fucking like a car accident.
Yeah, it is like a helicopter propeller, man. Like what'd you call it? Wind turbine or
A
some
wind
shit.
turbine. I
And
was spinning it around like a Ron Jeremy there in the one video.
um,
Old
yeah,
hedgehog.
I mean, I've I've basically just been running a 32. That's the biggest tomahawk that I've had.
That's the most comfortable. Like I'd say that'd be your everyday skimming tool.
It is, but what I used to do was I would run the boxes
Yeah.
on everything. I would go eight, sorry, I would go 10 either side
Yeah.
and then 12, 12, 12. But that ends up being 36 inches.
Yeah.
So if I use the fucking 32, it's not big enough,
Oh yeah. It comes
right?
short.
Now, I've also got that trowel,
Yeah.
and I need time on the trowel. So I run the boxes three coats and then I skim it real tight with the trowel.
Yeah.
But I think with like a 40-inch tomahawk would
Yeah.
be dope, man. And then like the other thing with the other than Nate,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's running a 48-inch tomahawk on a regular basis.
Oh,
I
he
just
runs his too, eh?
oh, he's the butt joint guy, man.
Yeah.
Like he like when he closes his eyes and touches the wall, you hear that dun, na, 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 na. Like it's like a fucking Jedi thing. And like he can the wall looks flat and he can tell you that it's not. And like when he goes to a butt joint, he does that and
Yeah.
then he like understands where it's at. Like Nate's shit is legit,
Oh
right?
yeah. I'm the
And
same way with butt
because of
joints.
that, he's got a 48-inch tomahawk.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of person that would use one on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But when you're doing popcorn ceiling removal, like how many sheets of drywall are in a room? That's how many passes you're going to do because
Yeah.
it's a 48-inch tomahawk.
Yes.
Like those ceilings are flat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you're coming the one way and then you're going 90 degrees and coming the other way on the next coat. Like that ceiling is flat.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, in my side of the industry, you kind of maybe start to miss where certain tools fit in, but then you branch out a little bit and take a look at what the other specific people are doing, and you're like, wow, this thing is a huge asset.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Columbia Tools has literally become another addiction of mine. So thank you very much for the extra
I'm
addiction,
like, you
everyone
want to
about
try
Columbia.
heroin, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. Pretty
I
much.
love this shit.
Yeah. So it's yeah, no, they got great tools, man. It's been a real pleasure using them and yeah, the 48, anyone out there make that investment. I think it wasn't cheap, but it was worth it. Put it that way. I don't think it was that much actually. Skinny blades always, I don't know about anyone else, but when I look at the price of them, I always think they should be more.
100%.
Do you know what I'm
Well, you see
saying?
the money they're making you.
Well, I'm just like, okay, this blade's like $260 and you're like, what the fuck? Like, and then you hold it and you get the tool and it's like super sturdy and you're like, I think they're like, I'm just saying, like, not that I want to pay more for them, but I think they're underpriced. I that's just me. Like that's just me. But maybe there's a certain. Obviously, they know better than me because it's a certain
So
threshold or whatever.
skimming blades, for sure,
Yeah,
right? Like regular plastic skimming blades.
yeah,
I understand the price point that they're at. When you're buying a tomahawk,
yeah,
like when they sent me those, they were like, give us a review on it. And I grabbed that 32 and I was like, I'm sure he'll replace it if I break it.
yeah.
And I grabbed it and I like pulled and pushed with either arm and I was trying to bend the fucking thing. And I'm not a little guy.
You're
Like
not?
I like I know, right?
Oh, okay. So wait a minute, man. You're not?
Yeah, you're like one of the fucking three people I've met that are my size.
You're like a fucking little munchkin, man.
I know.
Yeah,
I like stomped my foot and tried to like oof and nothing, right? I'm like, this thing is solid.
yeah, man.
Um, but what I mean by that is you never have to buy another one.
Yeah,
Like you could run over a tomahawk with your truck. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you probably could.
yeah,
And you might bend the blade, but the blades are replaceable. Like you're going to buy one tomahawk of each one forever.
yeah,
When you're going with things like plastic and you're going with these other things, they're replaceable and that's where the price point is. But they are undervalued
yeah.
because you're only
Seriously.
buying one, but they can't be three times as much.
Yeah,
And they shouldn't be, right? Like these Columbia is not a very greedy company, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? How much are they to put out? Fucking put them out. But
I think once Columbia gets me doing their commercials for the skim blades, I
yeah,
think that's gonna definitely. I think at that point we'll be able to get those things up a little more. You get my charisma on there and my big fat ugly head, and just like, hey guys, how's everyone doing today? Everybody want to be kind? Rewind.
I can't wait for the discount code promos now. It's gonna fucking 2 reels a day in the story. Oh
Like, that's
man.
my addiction, everyone. Like I am a very addicted person, and right now my new addiction is doing reels and doing, and I can't help it. As soon as I get an idea, even though half of them probably suck and everyone's annoyed by them, but I just have to get it. I have to put it on there because
Yeah.
it's like I want to show my work. I want to, and it's not for people to be like, oh man, that's so great. I
Wow,
just love
cool. Yeah.
I love before I used to think, oh, I want to get a bunch of hits. I'm kind of got over that now because it
Yeah.
just like the algorithm and all
Because
that
it
shit.
doesn't matter
It's
in
like
your
at
real
the end of
life.
the day, like do I like I'm trying to spin brushes. I haven't done that. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit no more. I'm just gonna just throw my normal stuff on. But what was that thing we're saying there? I'm talking about something and then slipped my mind. Surprise, surprise.
Well, in the beginning, I told you you got to fucking settle down a little bit.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
and we talked about that today, where I was just like, man,
Don't
you
mention
know,
companies though.
and that's kind of what I came up to. Like, if I was doing 4 or 3 Columbia reels a day,
Yeah.
it would be everybody would be like, settle down with
Yeah.
the fucking content.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But after spending some time with you, you're putting out a Columbia Reel Level 5 Advanced
Circle
USG
brand.
Circle brand. Like there's like 5 or 6 brands that you're
Yeah.
roping
Festool.
into. Festool, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's
I'm
what I
putting that
mean.
out. I'm not doing nothing with them yet. Someday they send me a swag package, which I was real thankful for.
Any recognition at all from Festool is fucking huge.
Oh, big time. Before I forget, let me just say the one thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was about the reels. Oh my God, they'll leave me again. Buddy, that was our multimedia guy, Shay,
Hmm.
613 Legacy Media, I think it is, Ottawa. You might see him through my page and that, but really, if you're in Ottawa and looking for a real good photographer, he does a lot of the new home, like realtor stuff too in that, but does a real good job. Shout out to Shay. Um, but he was saying, me and Sean, like he's like, you guys are like awesome. Like we did some talking videos and I think we nailed the first one in the first take, and the second one I seen something on the ceiling. I got distracted. I was like, oh, there's a scratch. And I says, the squirrel. Yeah. So but we got in the second take on the second talking video we did. And he's like, man, the realtors that I work for, they like literally take 40 to up to 40 takes to get shit. He's like, you guys are wicked. Like, we vibe off each other and we're both a little bit of characters. So we kind of just throw that in there and let it rip.
I mean, like 80% of my speaking things are the first time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm just like, I'm not doing this again and again. In the beginning, it was like, and then I want to talk about this, and I don't really think I said that right, and blah blah blah. And I just don't fucking do that anymore.
Yeah,
I used to delete my stories and start again.
yeah,
And but after you've said the same thing two or three times, a bunch of times, you're like, no. If you
yeah,
can skip it, I'm
yeah,
not spending the time.
yeah,
But because of that, I think it comes out pretty good. Every once in a while, I'll say something like on the troll one.
yeah,
I'm like the reinforced shoulders, and what I meant to say was elbows. But do I give a fuck about
yeah,
that? No.
yeah. You're gonna
It,
get someone's gonna troll you and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
man,
I'll
it's
be
not
like, yeah,
true."
reinforced shoulders, buddy. Do some fucking delt raises, bitch. Oh, those were just my reinforced shoulders. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, it, but I don't care
yeah,
because it's like, and they don't care.
yeah,
Like, I had a multimedia guy do that fucking video
yeah.
as opposed to doing it myself. It's a dope video.
I thought it would
Does
turn
it
out, but
make
like,
sense? All the whole part of it? No.
but the background with the tall trees, and like
Hey man,
we're working in the woods, right? So
I was gonna do that video in the house.
yeah,
And
you,
then he's like, well, and then we should do some outside. I'm like, we're not switching fucking scenery here. And then I looked outside. I'm like, yeah, we should do it outside. It's about a sweater.
and then I come to the window. I meant to put on the story, but I always forget to put things on, so I never did. But I was trying to take the you guys doing the action shot, and I was just gonna put it up on the story, right? I was like, yeah, and he and then you catch you right at the end, like because you caught the corner. I mean, it was right at the end of your video, so like you're watching your video and you got that big smile. That's me in the
Yeah.
window, being like, "Hey, man."
So in that video, there's like this like me standing there with like a douchey look on my face, and I just didn't even know that that was recorded,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what a
I
douchey
didn't
thing to
notice
do.
that though. You just looked like you're confident. It looked like it was like your
I
pose.
know. I just see it as weird.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wish he fucking used the video of when I saw you in the window because I
Yes.
thought at least was like, what's up? And then at
Yeah.
the very end, that's what he used. I was like, that a boy. You
Yes.
know what you're doing. He does make good videos, man. I think audio
Yeah.
video people are underutilized,
Yeah.
especially, if you're trying to get brands
It
looking
helps,
at you.
man.
You know what I mean? And then,
It's
yeah,
helped.
well, they cost money and this and that. Yeah, well, fucking then get out of the game. You
It
got to
does.
pay to play, baby.
It costs, but I to be honest, I pay $100 a piece,
Yeah.
like which is a lot. Everyone that hears that is like, "Oh my God, man, it's a fucking ripoff. Oh my God," but it actually isn't, in my opinion, because
Well, you could
that
have an
con
idiot do it for 25 bucks.
yeah, and mine are like the videos I take.
Represents you.
Yeah, the videos I take as compared to the videos he does, like you can totally tell if you go through them, you can see the ones that I paid for. But it's nice to have because then you own that content. And when you have people that are looking at me on the weekly,
Hmm.
thinking of hiring me for popcorn seal removal or to tape their basement or paint their house, I like them to see some of those videos on there. I like them to see like the cool choreograph and all the different tools I'm using, and that's it, which is nice.
It's a standard of quality.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. And when I first seen Hayden's, like, and shout out to Hayden, he's the first guy I ever seen do that. I was like, holy shit, like
You're not the first fucking
that
guy
I seen, like that I'm
do it.
from this old feller, right?
Settle down, Aiden.
But he and I always used to send him the hashtag like keeping it classy with Hayden, because he just the guy's he's 29 years old or whatever, 30 years old, and is that what he is?
Dude, he's one of my favorite people. He's not 30 yet.
He is a day.
I,
Yeah.
I, I don't think so, anyways. I
I
bet if you shaved that shitty mustache, your ass, you'd look 15.
little dust collector.
I know.
He
I
did you
love it.
did you see when I don't know if you've seen it online when he was doing a CSR thing, and I said to him, "Oh hey man, you're gonna be at Black Friday. Will it be hard to spot you?" And I was and he came
He's
back
only
with something.
14 feet tall. You'll
I
be
know,
just fine. Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, good. And I said something else like just, but he went along with it. But I was just eating the leaves off the tall trees, right?
Silly fucking. They, he and I have this great relationship with like we very rarely start a conversation with each other politely.
Yeah,
There's always some sort of bullying or like it's just so great. And so I sent him this thing the other day. I'm like, hey, I don't know if you've heard about it because only, the important people know about it. But are you going to Black Friday? And he's on their video. Like he's on the introduction video to him. And that's how it all starts. But like, yeah, I mean, there are people that I meet in the industry that are fantastic at doing their job.
Yeah.
And then there are people that are fantastic at running companies and like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like everybody has their strengths.
Yeah.
And there are a few of us that like you see all of the whole thing. Like you are a excellent drywall contractor.
Thank you.
Hayden's an excellent drywall. I mean, like the list goes on, but I mean, like Steve from Whitby Drywall is another one of these guys.
Yeah.
He is like a fucking gangster with a trowel. And
Yeah.
then when you look at the back end stuff of it, his contracts are legit. Like everything is bang on because
That's
he's
awesome.
again another 20-year guy, right?
Yeah.
But when you see the younger guys doing it, you're like, that's so impressive.
Oh,
That
it
like
is.
you are not just focusing on getting good, you are focusing on the company getting good as well. It's
Yeah.
so impressive to see.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah, it definitely is, man. There's a lot to a business, especially this type of business. There's lots of ups and downs, like a lot of businesses, but this one especially just as I mean, drywall finishing is super hard on the body. Like
It is.
you talk to guys that are like in their 50s or 60s, and all of us know guys like that. And same with carpentry, man. Like, guys' knees are all beat to shit in that too. So
Facts.
it is a trade. Yeah, that is facts, man. That's a trade that is grueling on the body. It's hard on relationships because of the hours we work, especially when you're self-employed. Maybe if you're not working for somebody, you do the 9 to 5, but when you're self-employed and you're trying to climb up the ladder and trying to get your family the extra goodies and, and take them on the odd trip and provide well for them. There you go. That
Oh,
wasn't me,
I
by
can
the way.
hear that.
That wasn't me. I'm drinking a Diet Pepsi, but
I can't
it's funny.
believe you opened another beer,
Yeah,
bro.
right. I don't drink beers. I don't drink alcohol. But yeah, it's and it is rewarding, but it's got a lot of ups and downs, but it's also can be incredibly rewarding. That's for sure.
I mean, talk to anybody that has a job and then talk to anybody that has a career,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. Anybody that's making six figures, $250,000 a year, talk to them about how they got there,
Yeah.
right? There was a ton of sacrifice. If you have to go through education, you got to pay for the education, you got to live while you are being educated.
Yeah.
You got to find a job coming out of education, which means you're going to eat shit
Yeah.
somewhere until you've got some sort of base to move on and grow and all those types of things.
Yeah.
And then people get into the trades and they're like at the first sign of sacrifice, they're like, well, this seems to be a lot of sacrifice. Yeah,
Yeah.
no shit.
Oh man.
If you want to build a career out of it and you want to make that kind of money that you're looking for, you have to put that work in. If you just want a job, I tell this to people all the fucking time.
Yeah.
What is it you want?
Yeah.
I'd like a wife, I'd like kids, I'd like to spend time with them, I'd like to have a fucking trailer that we go to in the summer, all of those types of things. You don't need to kill yourself for that,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
if you're trying to do this
Yeah.
and build community, like, and do all these types of things, it takes sacrifice, it takes a lot of fucking work.
It
and
does.
and if you can't cut it,
Yeah.
find something else to do,
Yeah.
or back it down, find where you're happy, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about management, right? Like in relationship management goes right into that. And yeah, man, it's you hit the nail on the head, dude. That's a really great point. And
Mm.
yeah, that's good, man, for sure.
I'm super stoked to see you paint this house.
Yeah, man. We gotta cruise in the morning. We'll try to get out here at a good time, get some coffees from Timmy's and get over and get that upstairs sanded out as quick as we can. And hopefully before you leave, I should have her primed and a lot of it painted, man. You'll be able to see me. I'm super quick on painting. And that's nice too. I was fortunate enough to start as a painter and got into drywall finishing at around 20, and I was a teenager painting, and I always incorporated both. And I mean, even with skim blading, we're talking today, for years in Alberta, I did knockdown texture. Anyone in Alberta, shout out to everyone out there. But I did lots and lots of like couple million square feet, if not more,
That's crazy.
of California knockdown.
I actually like it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm like deadly at it, man. Like I was known out there for that, and learned off YouTube. Like I was telling you, literally, it's the funniest story. But I got a multifamily building, and I remember reading the plans, and I seen texture. I thought it was popcorn, and I got in. They said, "No, we want knockdown in here." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Not a problem. You know how to do that?" Yes, I do. I
Yep.
went home that night back when YouTube was new, and got on YouTube and seen a guy doing it. And like I said, there was 60 units in there, and every single goddamn unit was a different pattern of knockdown texture.
And to be clear,
Yeah.
you saw how it was done on YouTube and you learned it through doing it.
Through doing it. Yeah.
You didn't go on
It
YouTube
was
and
rough,
learn it.
dude. It
Yeah.
was it was really I don't know how the hell I even got paid on doing it. But they paid me and they passed it. It must have been my charm and charisma. I think that's what got me paid. But it was but anyways, that was a lot of using paddles, right? And wiping. So even if you see me on a paddle with my technique, that a lot of that technique is wiping California knockdown, right?
Yeah, you do a lot of like curvature
Yeah. You see me coming
where
in arcs.
yeah,
Yeah.
you arc all over the place. And I mean that radius knife too, man. Like I mean I almost
It's impressive.
when I see that kind of stuff, it makes me want to radius off my tomahawks. Like I
Seriously.
don't know why. Hey Aaron,
Yes. That is a great
radius off my
idea.
tomahawks,
Yes.
but
The
don't get
edges.
sued.
Yes. Oh
Um,
God.
do you want to talk about that advanced knife?
Yeah, man. I wouldn't
Do,
mind.
do
That
you know like the official name for it?
It's the 16-inch radius trail knife.
Trail knife.
It's like a wiping, they
Yeah.
call it like a wiping skim blade trail knife, something like that.
Yeah, I've got one too,
Yeah.
and I use it for if I'm like running my 12 or my 14 in a place that I don't want to go back and forth and like make a perfect box run, I'll instead of running it on a 3, I'll run it on like a 2,
Yeah.
leave some extra, and then I'll take that trail knife and I'll just fucking knock it down. Like if
Yeah.
it's in a stairwell or something, like I know that it'll do the job. It takes more time
Yeah.
than just running the box back and forth, but it
Yes.
turns out good.
Yes.
And that's it comes out maybe once a site, but
Well,
then when you're using it,
yeah.
it was butter.
Yeah. And that was my first time ever using it. I just got my
Unbelievable.
last CSR order and I like to post all the orders. I'm not bragging about my CSR order, but I like to, for one, promote CSR because they're a fantastic drywall supply store. And, for two, yeah, but no, back to the blade. But yeah, I got that in that order. And yeah, this was the first time I ever got a chance to use it. But I catch on to tools quick, especially if they're skim
Incredible.
blades. Like you think I'd be using that thing forever. But that high part in that kitchen, man, like over top of the sink,
How would you have done that?
that was
Off a
about 10 and a
ladder?
half feet around there. Or we don't want to start getting into that. We're gonna get haters coming in.
What's his name? Bobby the fucking idiot or whatever.
Yeah, calling you out on the
You make me
11
so
feet.
happy.
Oh,
I love
only
that.
time I seen you lose it on somebody
I
commenting on
use my
Instagram.
sense of humor like 3 or 4 fucking times a year. And that guy was giving it.
You come on hot. You're like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this?
Oh, I'm a fucking measurer. Like, and I, my knee jerk reaction is to be a dickhead about things.
Oh
And
yeah.
so every once in a while, that like breaks through, and I rant about shit on the internet.
And then at the end, your last rant was like, okay, fine. So he was right.
Yeah. And then at the end, I'm just like,
But
yeah.
who the fuck cares?
And maybe you were, but you're still a fucking dickhead.
But who the fuck
So,
cares? You're a fucking idiot.
yeah. If you spend more time on tools, you wouldn't be so stupid.
Because you put a poll out. You wanted everybody to kind of give you a
I
number.
gave away a hat for that. I was like, oh, if we're all just fucking guessing heights, I'll measure it.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm on that site with Brad Hanna, and I'm fucking wound up. And he's like, what are you so fucking wound up about? I'm like, right. And I tell him about the guy, and I'm like, and I think you're gonna put a poll out, and and I'm gonna fucking, and he's like, why? Why would you do that? That's so dumb. He's like one person says something and you blow up about it. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck this guy. So I like stretched my tape out to 25 feet and then put it up the wall. I was like, yep, 23 and a half or whatever. And I was like, because that's going to infuriate that person, right? Like, it wasn't even 12 feet. It's not 20 feet. Oh, that's what the tape measure says on camera. So
That
I
was
think
good.
it's 25 feet.
I even participated in that poll. I think I was one of the poll participants.
There's only ever like 3 or 4 people.
Oh, they go on it? Okay, I was always
Yeah.
wondering.
My underwear one the other day, it
Yeah.
was more interaction than I've ever had on a
I wonder
poll.
if I did one of that. I can't remember. No, I don't. But I remember seeing that. That was a good one.
The
Yeah.
first one was like, who believes that I'm wearing it? And then on the second one, because like there was a little bit of
Oh, I guess
interaction.
no. I guess no. And I think yes is one, right?
And then on the next one, I'm like, well, I guess, should I do it? And then, yeah, I'm like, no, there will be no showing my underwear on the internet. I'm sorry. Um, Man, so many people were like, "You're not fucking wearing any underwear, are you?" Like, okay.
Yeah, it's amazing that some of the shit that entertains people.
Oh,
And
I love
sometimes
it.
people come in, you're like, holy Christ, I didn't even think that was funny. The best is me doing the podcast. Like I remember the last one, man. I was just like, oh my God. It came, I remember you seeing the, hey, it's out. You said the thing. I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. I was like hyperventilating in a way because I always think that they just bomb the fucking things, right?
So every single person that comes on this pod, wow, 70% of the people that come on this podcast, immediately afterwards, I get some sort of a message where they're like, "I hope it didn't fucking suck, bro, because I fucking suck," and whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I always listen to it either the next day or whatever, just to like, I also take notes for when I do the write up.
Yeah.
And then I listen to it again, believe it or not, when it comes out on Spotify, so I can make sure there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I love myself.
Yeah.
Um,
You know a good one when you hear one? Like when you listen back, you're like, oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you
yep,
can tell, eh? Okay.
100%. And
Yeah.
and because some of them, and there's not been a lot of them that it was just like there is something off with it because it's not an interview and it's not like we're just hanging out. Like we are sitting in an Airbnb, I'm drinking beer, we're fucking just
Yeah.
ate pizza.
Yeah.
We've been working all week. Like I kind of don't care if it's a good one. This is a
Yeah.
good time for me.
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
And
the interrupter. I won't say you. Yeah, that one fucking guy just interrupting you like crazy. Oh, we all knew that one.
there's been all kinds though. Like I had one of the guys on, and it was like you almost needed a crowbar to get anything out of him. And it was like I would have what I thought to be a good question on my bullet points, and the answer would be like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Okay." Like we struggled to get to 45 minutes on some of them.
He just hated being on the podcast.
It wasn't. It's just some people aren't, you know.
But once you do one, like even Ty and Faith, like we gotta get
I've asked Faith a bunch of times to be on, and
Faith
then
did Faith, you gotta get on because she did really good on Next Man too.
yeah,
And Ty though,
apologize profusely for going on Nick's podcast because I had asked her prior to that. I'm like, why? I love that you went on Nick's.
oh no, she also spoke real
I
good.
know it's
But once you get one out of the way, like even Faith will know, and she gets on yours. Like
Mhm.
when I did Nick's, oh my God, man, it was just like that was the very first one I did, and I was nervous as shit,
Yeah.
right? And then I did the Tool Time one in the States there, and I did one with you. So this one here, so even this one, I'm completely more relaxed and just
So
chill.
any of the returns podcasts, which is the second one when people come back, are way better
Yeah,
because you already have rapport. And typically, if somebody comes back, I've worked with them since.
yes, which
But
is cool.
like, and those ones are fucking 3 hours.
Yes,
It's easy.
yeah,
Um, but even just having people back again,
yeah,
they're comfortable.
yeah,
They know what they're walking into. They know that it's just a fuck around. Like you don't care what you sound like because the last one you did and it was awesome. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean? And there's not a million people.
yeah,
There's probably not 100 people
yeah.
listening to
That's
this.
okay.
So
Whatever.
that whole scary side of it isn't a real thing.
But the people that are listening are probably people that I care about,
Oh,
even through
always, man.
Instagram. Yeah,
I'm
and that's the.
only doing it to support.
But I mean, I look for it when every time I see that it's dropped, I'm working and it's not too long after I'm listening to it on Spotify,
Yeah,
like right away. Like you can pretty much quiz me on many podcasts. I've said many things. He's Sean's also learned about my photographic memory.
it's crazy.
I have a really I mean, I can remember shit like from being a little
Fucking
kid
guy shows up
vividly.
with lunch today. He's like, I got two double cheeseburgers. Because
No,
no,
four.
four, yeah. And you're like, because they're $15. Like you remember the whole thing.
And because he's like the one story, Sean's like, hey guys, you got a hack for you. This is not how he talks, but he's like, when you go to McDonald's, you get four cheeseburgers, $15. And the trick is you eat two now,
Yeah.
and when you're done fucking work, you eat another two.
Right. When you are tired, if you go get four double cheeseburgers from McDonald's, eat two, and then have two in your truck,
And you
you
get a
will
Coke
hurry
too.
back to
And
them.
you also get a Coke
A
for 15.
large Coke for
That's
the
it. See?
caffeine.
I
Yeah.
remember
And a
I
big
can
sugar rush too out of real Coke, like
yes.
Coca-Cola from McDonald's.
Yeah, that'll
It's the
do it.
best.
But I've always been that way. I've got a fantastic
Yeah.
my son Ronnie, my little fella, he's the same way. Just a memory, like it's actually helped me a lot in life, man, to remember things. Like when you remember things with people, whether it's a customer or someone at the store or whatever. I literally talked about this before, but um People love it, man. When you
Mhm.
remember, especially like intimate things or stuff like, say you told me something like
Oh, how did
you're
that thing turn out with your garden or
yes or
whatever?
whatever,
Yeah.
right? And then people are like, holy shit, man. Like right away, their instinct or their whatever's inside us, they think that guy actually gives a shit, you know?
That's why I did so well at sales.
Yeah.
So I can't remember your fucking name to save my life. And I don't care, like, when people work with me, if you had a helper,
Yeah.
I would have to write his name down
Yeah.
or her, or whatever, and to try and remember it, and I would have to remember
Or
it.
they're
They whatever.
them.
No,
Isn't there? There's a whole bunch of them.
this is a lot.
Okay, anyway, sorry. Rabbit hole. We're not going down that rabbit hole. And this is
Mhm.
not meant to offend any of they, them, he, she, or me.
I think
Sorry,
we're
bro.
safe.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
If you don't like it, get out.
Brain fart.
But I can remember conversations I've had
Yeah.
forever. Like I'll look at your face and go, the guy with the fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll remember conversations for years and years. So like in sales that really did me a service, right?
Big
Because it
time.
was just like I literally remember what we talked about 6 months ago when you were
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
And then people like it just like what you said, it's like you're attentive,
Yes. That's
right?
it. That's a good, and it's a great skill to have. I don't know if we're born with it
If you
or if it's
just
learned.
listen when people are talking.
That's what I do.
It's this crazy thing.
My wife taught me that, dude. Like the
Yeah,
way that like you would probably consider me to be a good listener.
100%.
That's thanks to Pam. I swear to God, dude. I used to interrupt her, that woman, for I not that the beautiful, fantastic woman. I used to interrupt her on the regular. And one day she said to me years back, she's like, I can't get a word in half the
Yeah.
time. You're constantly thinking like how we talked about somebody that we all know people that do that. But
You're
and
so good at dodging. I love it.
am I?
Oh yeah.
What am I
You're
going?
very polite at like
Oh,
those
I
kind
am.
of things.
I've always been polite too in my life.
Anyways, people
But
that cut you off that I just did.
yeah, what the hell were we talking about again? Oh yeah, the
Your
uh the,
wife.
the cutting off and
Yeah.
and that is also another skill that I learned later in life. And anyone that I did that before, if someone told me, I'm sorry, but if you're a person that does do that, stop fucking doing that because it's a horrible thing to do to people, and it literally shows the other person that you don't give two fucks what they're saying because you're too worried about the next thing coming out of your stupid mouth, and you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I was an idiot.
And
Sorry, babe.
and I mean, when I do, I'm constantly cutting people off. And it's because I get so excited about a thing that I have to say about the thing that you were saying because I was listening.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But what it conveys is exactly what you're saying. Because there are people out there that are just waiting for their time to talk.
yeah,
And the way to deal with those people are just to let them fucking talk and do your fucking thing. And when you're done, maybe I'll talk. When you're done, maybe I won't talk.
it's
But
nauseating.
this isn't a conversation, right?
Or if you're a guy doing that, stop it. Stop.
Yeah,
People will not. If you're a friend and stuff, it's really hard to tell you to stop doing that, but fucking stop it.
yeah,
You know who you are.
yeah.
Stop doing that to people. We fucking hate it. This message is brought to you by everyone that fucking hates people that do that. Thank you.
I'm the worst one, and it's okay. That goes, but I want to get a little yak back. Do you remember the yak backs?
Jackbacks.
Where like you would say a thing to it and then push the button and it would say it again.
Yes.
And I just wanted to be like, I'm the problem, it's me. Because it is so fucking perfect. There are so many things on this podcast and in my life that I'm like, yeah, and don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Because these are all the reasons that make sense that you should not do that shit. And then immediately I'm like, hey, people start talking. I cut them off right away. I've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
Um, but you do, man. That goes back to just like, if you want to do something, do it. And
Yeah.
if you are conversating with another human being, you need to do that. Conversate with another human being. If you
Yes.
just want to be heard, do that.
Yeah.
But don't start conversations with people and then fucking cut them off because you want to talk.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask someone a question that's a long answer if you don't give a shit. And I have friends that I talk to that
Yeah.
we don't have open-ended conversations because it's like, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on just because they're not big conversators, right? Like when they
Yeah.
want to talk, they'll talk and I'll listen,
Yeah.
but it's just not the way that it is. Yeah.
It's like me with the phone. Like I like growing up, I used to love talking on the phone.
Same.
And like even with my sons that are grown adults, it's like hard for me to pick up the phone to like want to do a big. Once I get on the phone, I'm okay. But my first instinct is, oh fuck, I don't want to get on the phone. Like just to not just for anyone really. It's just like I don't know if it comes with age or what, but it's just funny how things do change over the years. Like you go from loving something like that to like being like, yeah, I don't know the communication.
The time suck of it all is because you understand it now.
That's it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. I mean, I'm also a guy that can't hardly watch a movie because it takes too like I don't like things that are 2 hours, right? Like
Yeah,
I'd rather watch like three different newses over an hour and a half and think that I'm like using my time better, which you're really because you have no, you're not focusing,
yeah,
right? You're
it's the
just like
same shit though.
and your
Yeah,
mind, you're still allowing your mind to like flutter. So it's kind of yeah, man, what do you think? Should we wind her down pretty quick? It's getting
I'm
kind
like
of late and
squeezing my toes because I got
yeah.
pissed so bad.
We'll do another one down the way, and
Yeah.
yeah, whenever I'm up next, man, and you just keep putting us all through the rotation, and hopefully people still like to hear us talk, and yeah, no, I love doing this, and like I said, if I could help anybody, you guys all know my handle on Instagram and look me up, and I'm always here for advice. Not that I know everything, but if I can share, if you're in a situation in a job and you want to send me a picture, a lot of people will even send me pictures, and I
Like
will
I've
try to.
done.
You've done too, and even a product or yeah, a lot of people ask me, hey, what kind of floor paper are you using? What would you do to protect this? How do you do this? I am happy to share with anybody as long as you're not a dickhead or a bitch, then that's also, yeah, that could be anybody, male or female.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This message is not brought to you by people that hate males and females.
Whoa.
Maybe someday I'll be a sponsor on the podcast if I ever
Anytime.
hit it real big.
Anytime.
This podcast was brought to you by Call Jamie Painting and Drywall, home of the popcorn ceiling removal by Festool.
She'd say from Ottawa. This is the next
Oh,
guy.
I was coming out of Gabriel Pizza and Sean was on the phone. I'm like, oh, there he is on the phone talking to Justin Trudeau. And then at the end of the conversation, I'm like, Jamie Burke, CTV News.
CTV
Ottawa.
News.
Yeah, that's from falling on my head too many times. But thanks for listening, everyone. And Sean, thanks for having me on the podcast. And thanks again for coming down, brother. It was a fantastic week. And anyone that's looking to bring Sean in to do the same thing, this man is a great worker. Pleasure to be around. He didn't annoy me even one time, surprisingly, because you guys probably think he might be annoying, but he just that's a total
I do it
joke.
on purpose.
He's not. No, he was an absolute pleasure, man. And thank you very much for coming down and your services. And I hope we can do it again soon. Next time I get a good
100%.
sized job, bro, you'll be the first guy I call, and we'll keep collabing and keep the haters hating and keep
Yeah,
the people that love us loving, man.
I love it. Uh, call Jamie Painting and Drywall on Instagram, Facebook, Google, all kinds of shit. Check him out. Solid, solid dude. Keep your eyes open for the new Tomahawk sabres. Go in CSR, check them out. They're dope. And Black Friday, November 22nd at CSR. See us there. We'll both be there. Tons of people will be there, and yeah, we're gonna log off here. Be humble, treat everyone the same, and do your fucking job.